so that was with Neuralink, and the Adam kind of mentioned this. I've always kind of wondered, because you worked previously, Neuralink was a very invasive plan, and you've always been kind of focused on the non-invasive. Do you guys ever kind of like butt heads on direction? I mean, not specifically in neural interfaces either. This could be more broad, just kind of directions of FROs.
I really think that, like, from that first email, Adam and I have been bizarrely on the same wavelength. It's kind of freaky, actually. And so I think that we both come at things from very different perspectives, and we'll both ask each other why a lot if we don't understand, and then inevitably, like, understand more and meet in the middle. So no, not really. I think we're really interested in impact.
Neither of us are dogmatic about any of this. There's no great battle there. And yeah, again, I think that these things will like meet in the middle. And the only question we would ask is there some FRO or something like that the field won't do in this? It's not actually obvious to me. I think there are a bunch of good neurotech companies. Kernel is great, a bunch of other good ones to be created, and then a bunch of other, useful things, gene therapy, cell therapy. It's not clear to me that there is a brain-computer interface FRO that's needed exactly, but there probably are for like more basic neuroscience. Like if you want to get every neuron in the mouse brain recorded, I think that's probably more Fro style than less for humans, but more for just understanding. Yeah.
So this brain mapping FRO, how do you think that this fits into this space of, you have your non-invasive groups like Kernel, you have your invasive groups like Neuralink, and then you have a million other ones in between that are things like wetware and organoid groups that are focusing on drug discovery, but also have influence in regenerative medicine. So where do you think something like this fits in? The specific kind of brain mapping FRO that you're working on now.
I mean, I have super high hopes for it, but admittedly, it's like pretty speculative exactly how that's going to work. So the hope is that there is some level of brain architecture, which is, which types of cells connect to which across which brain areas. What are the kind of motifs of that that you can't see in these like very local? If you just take a cubic millimeter of brain, it just looks like this crazy forest kind of, and there are some patterns, but you wouldn't see it unless you saw. It's kind of like if I just took a very complicated highway or something, I just looked some tiny little intersection in there. It's like, okay, well, there's just lines going across. But if you actually looked at the U.S. highway system or something, it would kind of make sense that like Chicago is something that people go to or something. So the hope is that you would have this level of description that would then open up a huge amount of understanding of just how does the brain work and like what does it even mean, like you're looking at with these kernel devices, at different parts of cortex or something, like what is that, like why are they different, like what does it mean if one of them turns on, who's turning it on? Like we don't know that stuff. And so that's where I think that the connectomics, long range kind of connectomics would come in. And then also for diseases, and so if you understood what cells are mediating different types of diseases, then you could in this future vision where you have cellular and viral and other kinds of things, plus non-invasive, then you would like turn on that exact right cell type or that exact right, circuit, and then you would cure diseases. But both of those are pretty, we don't know.
Right. Yeah,
right. It may be that actually this doesn't tell you that much more about the brain than we knew already or something, right?
It could also have potentially like interesting impacts on ML or AI. Like if we better understand how your prefrontal cortex receives reward signals from your amygdala, maybe that's directly applicable to reinforcement learning. Maybe it's not. I think that though we just have like no idea.
Right. Yeah, that's an interesting thought that I haven't heard a lot before, because I mean there is always a lot of confusion about how ML started out as this bio-inspired architecture, and you have neurons that are not real neurons, and then a lot of back and forth there, but kind of going back to inspiring ML based on bio-inspired designs, which are typical. Whenever you hear bio-inspired, you think of someone like making a robotic dragonfly or something, but it's a lot more fundamental than that. You can talk about specific computer architectures that do this too, which I think is really cool.